Kurt Angle, this is the right way to do it. Not this.
Oh!
This.
Oh, yeah!
That's the right way to do it.
Okay, just play the video!
It was so cool shooting that intro with Ken Shamrock. You could say that was a pretty dangerous intro. And this is a pretty dangerous interview. In fact, this is the world's most dangerous interview. A big thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. It's the mobile game that's already a mega hit, a phenomena, a blockbuster, a slobber knocker. You get the point. Raid is raw, it's real, dark, epic, most of all, it's awesome. If you haven't heard of it, Raid Shadow Legends is a brand new collection RPG that's taking the mobile gaming landscape by storm. There's more than 10 million players worldwide in less than 6 months. That's a lot of millions. The game is totally free, and with over 300,000 reviews, it has an almost perfect score in the Play Store. And I mean, come on, check out the detail here. This is a mobile game, and it's growing super fast. There's always updates. Check out this cool roadmap that they've just published. And they have plans for more updates for the game over the next 6 months. There's a new faction, that's a wrestling term, a tag team arena feature, also a wrestling term, and even a new clan boss where you'll be able to fight with your clanmates. It's seriously so addictive. Click the links below in the description so you can download this, and you'll get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program so you can start your journey. A huge thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this. Now let's get to it. It's the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
All right, well, it's an honor to be sitting in an Impact ring with you right now. Thank you for making this happen.
Dude, I feel so comfortable in the ring. I feel like I want to slam somebody.
Well, maybe not me, or maybe at least not till later. Right. We'll at least get the interview done first. Yeah. It's been 15 years, and now you're back in Impact. Take me along this path. You know, why did it take 15 years to come back?
I tell you, especially after I kind of slowed down with the MMA world, I took a year off because I felt my body was sore. I had all these injuries I was trying to recover from. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to enjoy life. Mm-hmm. So I took a year. I didn't say I was going to take a year. I just stopped, right? I stopped training. I stopped everything. I just wanted to just enjoy life, enjoy family. So it was about a year. And then I just decided one day, I was like, man, you know what? I'm tired of just being Mr. Mom, you know, hanging around at the house and, you know, cooking dinner and doing barbecues and, you know, just that home life thing. And it was great for a while. But then I started feeling healthy again. I just started feeling like, wow, I don't know, I just feel good again. And so I said, you know, I'm going to go back to the gym. Just, you know, go there during the day because I'm not doing anything. And I'll go hit the gym and kill some time that way. And so I started working out. And, you know, probably I would say three months in, I started feeling good again. I mean,
sure.
I look in the mirror, I go, wow, man.
You look great.
I look great, you know. And I was like, okay, you know, I'll start looking for some gigs in pro wrestling. You know, that's something I think I want to go after. It's something I hadn't really had finished what I wanted, what I had actually started to do, which was capture the WWF title, which, you know, I mean, I may not be able to do that, but boy, I can sure make an impact in no pun intended, in pro wrestling.
Sure.
And so I decided to, you know, start reaching out to different organizations and start checking out to see whether or not there was an opportunity for me to wrestle again. And then BCW over in Australia picked me up, and I did a show, one show, and we weren't planning on doing any more than that. I went over, I did one show. And I remember after I did that one show, I was like, wow, I feel a lot better than I've felt in a long time.
Wow.
And I said, you know what? I might want to do this again. So I remember talking to Matthew, who is the guy that owns BCW, and I said, hey, you know, since things went so well this time, I said, I'd like to be able to maybe come back and do a few more shows just to see whether or not I want to get back into pro wrestling again. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, me and you'll work something out, and, you know, I'll come over here maybe for a 4 or 5 match deal, and then that way I can kind of see where I'm at. And he says, yeah, I would love to help you out, you know. And he did. He helped me out, be able to get in the ring and be able to have those 4 or 5 matches And once I was into about the third match, the third time over there,
Sure.
I think people started to see around the world that I was back, because I got a call from Germany. They wanted to bring me down there. So I went down and did a match down there. And so now I'm sitting here in the Impact ring because of the opportunity I got at BCW and was able to show the talents that I had. I'm sitting here in Impact Wrestling ready to do a program for them. So that thought I had one day to go start working out, taking that year off, really got me to this point.
And you look like you're in incredible shape, the best shape we've seen you in years.
Yeah, and that all had to do with taking that year off, because I had never taken any time off from the time I started my professional career back in 89, 90. I'd never really taken any time off up until, 2017? Yeah, 2017, where I basically had taken a year off. So I think that was a really important part of me being able to be where I'm at today, was just letting my body heal up and feel comfortable again.
So is this, right now we're obviously in Las Vegas here, Sam's Town Casino. You're doing 2 dates here. Is this the only 2 dates you're doing with Impact, or are you continuing on for a little while?
Well, right now I think the one thing in front of me is, obviously Moose, being able to take care of business with that. Then I think after we do that, we'll take a look and see whether or not there's more for us to do here at Impact. I like what I see so far.
Sure.
The way I've been treated has been awesome. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in maybe looking at something a little bit deeper. But like I said, we have to see where everything kind of lands after these first two shows.
Well, I think the interest is there for Ken Shamrock because you were away from pro wrestling for so long. If you had been working indie dates ever since you left WWE, they'd go, yeah, we've seen it. We don't need you now.
It's true. I think that, and maybe this is a message for a lot of guys that are into pro wrestling, is that it's okay to take time off. It's okay to let your body heal up and rest. Take a year off. Be away from it. But in the same sense, not only are you taking time off to let your body heal up, but you're also taking time off for the fans to kind of maybe miss you.
Sure.
So when you do come back, it's like, you get a welcome back, because they're like, we haven't seen him in the ring for a while. And so you get more of a warm embrace, as opposed to trying to force the issue to keep wrestling.
Yeah. And what an exciting time for you to make your return. 2019 has been an amazing time to be a pro wrestling fan. An amazing time, I'm sure, to be a pro wrestler, with everything that's going on with AEW, kind of raising the bar for WWE. Impact has one of its best rosters perhaps ever. A great time for you to be back.
I don't know. Maybe I'm blessed, man, but it seems like my timing has been just perfect for a lot of things. Started out when over in Japan, where Pancrase first started. I was the first king of Pancrase.
Yeah.
UFC first started. I was
UFC
the first super fight champion. The first guy to cross over into the WWF, where WWF was, and WWE today was struggling to compete with WCW. They brought in the Attitude Era off of my back to try to change that direction. WCW killing them on those wars, and then here. It just seems like my timing, I have been blessed on timing.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked a lot in other interviews how you've reached out to WWE and got no response, and you think you have some unfinished business there. What's your relationship with them now?
I don't know if it is a relationship. I know I was there, and I know that I was able to be a part of something special. But I just don't know if there was ever a relationship, because even after I left, it almost felt like I was the black sheep, where like once I left, it was never mentioned again, and no credit given, no highlights or anything ever shown, nobody speaks of it, it's almost like it was I don't know, it's just weird, it's just gone.
Which is strange, because you paved the way for guys like Brock Lesnar,
Kurt Angle,
Ronda Rousey now.
Right.
Yeah, so I feel like they'd be remiss to not recognize what you've done.
Yeah, but they don't. It's a shame. Even when they did this Raw reunion and these other reunions that they were doing, it's like, why wouldn't I have been there? I don't understand that. So I don't know who I pissed off, and or what kind of bridges were blown up, but I thought I did everything on a very professional level.
Is there Do you have any idea who it is you might have bad blood with or some heat with?
I don't, man. I mean, I know that, there were a lot of business decisions that were made that probably didn't make some people happy, but it was business. It was nothing personal.
Sure. I mean, Jim Ross talked about in his podcast recently how you had missed some dates in some towns, and then that you were going to be a megastar, but some things kind of fell apart and it never happened for you.
Yeah, it was weird because, it's not like the first time that wrestlers miss dates. I mean, Shawn Michaels did, Bret Hart did. I mean, you go on and some of the things that happen and guys just miss flights, some of it due to weather or cancellation or just being late. It happens, right?
Sure.
So, and it wasn't like I missed 20 in a row. I mean, I maybe missed 2 or 3.
Yeah, and JR talked about 2. Yeah.
Yeah, at most in a 2.5 year period. So, there's no way that's the reason. So I don't know. I can only speculate. I think there's, several different reasons why that could have happened, but they're just speculations because no one's really ever said, hey, this is what we thought, this is what we did. So I have no clue.
Do you agree with JR that you had the makings of being a megastar? Was there ever talk of you winning a Royal Rumble or something to line you up for a title shot?
Well, I did win King of the Ring,
That's right.
And
Yeah,
I
King of
beat
the Ring,
Rock there, and I thought that was the direction we were going to go. And I really thought that The Rock, Bret Hart, Stone Cold, myself, I really thought that was a direction that we were going to be able to have kind of that 4-way, title connection where it would just keep shifting hands and then there'd be alignments here and there. And so I really thought that's where it was going. And then I kind of got left out of that 4. I was the 4th one. And so the 3 did go ahead. And I just kind of got left out. So
do you feel like there were other plans that could have happened had you not left to go to MMA? To go back to MMA?
Well, the feeling and the things that were happening to me during that time, and the reason why I went back was because I wasn't going that direction. I know that they wanted to do a storyline where Ryan, who played my sister, wanted me to be in love with her. And I said, that's just, well, where's that? That's not anywhere where we're going. The world's most dangerous man. I mean,
in an incest angle.
I'm like, that just don't feel right. And so in my mind, with everything that was going on around that, with the Bret Hart thing and all the other things that were happening around that, it just felt to me like they were trying to ruin the world's most dangerous man. They were trying to kill my character, which I've heard they've done in the past with different people because that was their character they created, and before they left, they wanted to make sure they weren't on the up, they were on the down.
Sure.
So I took a stand against that, to not let that happen.
You were one of the rare guys during that era who got to keep their own name. Like, when you first came in, was there any discussion of giving you another name?
No, I mean, I think Vince had it in his head that the world's most dangerous man, coming from this background, that's what he was going to build Stone Cold and Bret Hart and his organization on, the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of guys that come in and they go, all right, Ken Shamrock, we understand who you were from UFC, but we could make you something else.
Or in a sense where I think you could also argue that by just bringing me in and having me work with guys like Stone Cold or Bret Hart or The Rock or other guys, being the character I was, coming from that background, would also make those other wrestlers that as well.
That's true. Did they want to do this angle with Ryan because you guys were dating in real life at the time and they saw a spark there?
No, I mean, like, I don't know the thought process on that, but I had 3 kids at home that were 5, 8, and 10, and them going to school, they don't know the real or not real on that. And I had to make a decision for my family that I was not going to do that because my kids would have been hammered at school for that.
You mentioned The Rock a few times. He said some really nice things about you on Twitter recently. Yeah. You had it was almost like a year-long program with him that you guys did.
We did. I tell you, Rock came out of the Nation, and I felt that the Nation was really holding him back. And once he broke off of that and he started cutting promos with the mic,
Right.
and me and him started doing work together, I literally saw myself and his character just rise up. And we had matches that rivaled all the top stars in the WWF at the time.
It's funny because I interviewed Rock recently, and I said, you've cut so many great promos. What's your favorite promo of all time? And it's actually kind of something you're keying in on here. He said it was one of his favorites was the crowd was chanting Rocky sucks, and he said the Rock's a lot of things, but sucks ain't one of them. And that led right into the type of program that you guys had.
Yes, it was awesome because I was neither a babyface or a heel.
Yeah.
And The Rock really hadn't established himself as either one, really. I mean, he kind of flipped back and forth. And I just didn't care. Like, it didn't matter whether the fans loved me or didn't love me. I loved them. Mm-hmm. But when I got in the ring, I was going to do what I was going to do. And so it just worked out that way, that I was kind of, at that moment, I was the fan favorite. But just as we started working together, it was almost like they didn't know who to cheer for, because they loved The Rock and they loved me. And it was just seemed like as we were starting to put those programs together and grow together, that's where we really became superstars.
And no matter how many great matches you have with The Rock, you know that everybody's memory comes down to that one moment where The Rock bashed you in the face with the chair. Walk me through that entire moment. How did that all go down?
We were in the back, and we were going through some spots, and then we were going to do the chair shot. And I didn't like chair shots. I felt like, man, the back was fine, but then they were hitching the top of the head or the back of the head. And I was like, I looked at Rock and I said, hey, man, we do that chair shot, man. Just hit me in the face.
Oh, my God.
And he looked at me and he goes, I'm not hitting you in the face. I go, dude, hit me in the face. I'll take care of the rest. He goes, man, I'm not hitting you in the face, man. And I was like, dude, I'm serious. He looked at me and he said, man, you're ribbing me. I said, no, I'm serious. Hit me in the face, and if you don't swing it, I won't sell it. He looked at me and goes, whoa, I'll swing it. And I said, okay. So we get in there, and he looked at me and goes, you sure? And I said, dude, trust me. He goes, all right. So we get in there, we get to that spot, and he looks at me, and I remember recently looking up to him and going, you better swing it.
That's what you were saying in that moment?
Yeah, I was like, you better swing it.
Oh, man.
And he looked at me and goes, oh, I will.
Did you have any sort of injury after that?
No, it was a lot easier for me to take that to the forehead because it didn't hit me directly in the face. So when he swung it, all I did was just tip my chin down and I took it right in the forehead. And if you know anything about how your body is, your forehead is the thickest bone in your head. So instead of taking it at the top of the head or anywhere else, that was the place I knew when I took it that I wouldn't get a concussion. And so when he swung it, because I didn't want to take something that I would embarrass myself. Somebody eases up on it. And I knew by hitting me in the forehead, I knew he could swing it and I would be okay. And so when he hit me with the chair, whack! And I literally, as I go back, I was like, dude, I hardly even felt it. I mean, that's no lie. I'm not lying. God is my witness. He swung that and he hit at me with it, and I literally went, well, that was a lot better than I thought. As I was rolling backwards and I hit the ground, I was like, thank God I'm alive.
Usually you get hit with like the seat part. I felt like you got hit with like the top part of the chair.
It was both, because I think when he hit me, the actual seat caved in, and then the top part slid down onto my head.
Well, that's exactly what we saw at AEW, at Double or Nothing. When Cody took that chair shot, same thing happened, but we obviously saw that it didn't go as well for him.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, it's it's the way you're taking it, the timing on it. It's got to be perfect, because it can turn out wrong. But like I said, I would rather see it coming than not coming.
So what do you think of when you see a chair shot like that in 2019, the one that Shawn Spears did to Cody Rhodes? And then we look back at, in your heyday, those were happening almost every week on Raw.
I love it. I like to see those things happen. And a lot of people get angry when people copy other people. And I'm like, dude, this is the world we live in. People do things and they do it better. It's like when Kurt Angle jumped in the ankle lock. You know? I mean, everybody's like, dude, aren't you mad? I was like, no, why would I be mad? The guy took my move. I mean, he's actually still using my move. That's flattery. I mean, the guy is taking something that I brought in first and he's using it. Why would I be mad about that?
Did he ask permission to use it?
No, he just used
Really?
it. But it didn't matter to me because, I mean, I think to myself, how many moves in the pro wrestling ring did somebody do first and somebody else is using it? All of them.
Yeah. I guess, but that was your trademark move. I know the first time I saw Kurt Angle doing it, I went, that's Ken Shamrock's move.
But it doesn't matter. I think what bothers me more than anything is when they actually put up all these different submission holds, the best submission holds, and they use Kurt Angle's picture in the angle out, and he doesn't do it right. You know, when I tell people, I said, well, yeah, when someone does your move, and they usually, because like even in fighting, when you train somebody, your ceiling should be their floor. They should get better. Well, in Kurt Angle's case, he does not do it better. It won't work for real. So I need to learn. I need to teach him how to do that right. So that when he puts it on, I could be a little more proud of that.
You should have an ankle lock match with him.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'll let him put it in the way he does it. I'd let him get me in it.
I mean, he's worked in Impact for many, many years.
Yes.
Now that you're in Impact, this is something that could maybe happen.
Dude, that's a dream match for me. It really is.
It's a dream match for everybody.
Yeah, I respect Kurt. I mean, if you know Kurt's history, man, that guy was a stud. Mm-hmm. I mean, he really was a stud, mentally, physically. I mean, he was just one of those kind of guys that I could get behind. So having a match with him would be an honor.
What about a match with Brock?
Oh, another guy, man. I mean, you think about what he was able to do. You know, I know he kind of followed in my footsteps a little bit, only because I did it first, right?
Sure.
But he's a beast, man. And he's a guy that I would enjoy wrestling also because you look at him, man, and you're just like, dude, this dude is a megastar. So for me to share the ring with him would be absolute honor.
I think that it's important to point out that you've had an incredibly successful career in MMA, an incredibly successful career in wrestling, but you're also an entrepreneur now. You've got your hand in so many different pies. Tell me a little bit about some of the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I got out of wrestling and got out of fighting, the one thing I wanted to make sure was that I needed to use all of my body, like my physical aspects and my mental aspects. And so as I was fighting and as I was wrestling, I was also learning outside of what it is to put on shows or to produce things and how different storylines work. And so I always studied everything going on around me because I knew there would be an opportunity for me after I had kind of done everything I needed to do and be able to step aside and go, okay, I'm going to use the celebrity status and the things that I created over the years and be able to use that as a leverage to go out and start using different types of businesses outside the ring. So I got involved with different things in the stock market. I got involved with things with business and leveraging my name to be able to help other startup businesses because they'll spend anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. Normal businesses $50,000 to $100,000 in marketing, right? So I can go to those different businesses and go, hey, let me do your marketing for you. I'll do all radio spots, TV spots. I'll go around do different commercials and stuff like that, and I'll cut your costs in half. All I want is equity. You don't have to pay anything up front, but what we make off of this company, I get a percentage. So I become a business owner.
That's a big gamble, though, because if that business isn't profitable, you've just put your time and effort into nothing.
See, well, and there's the key right there is this. You have to make sure that the ones that you're looking at and you vet them, you got to make sure they have a solid foundation with the people that are working there.
Sure.
And so you have a better opportunity of being successful. But nevertheless, it still costs you nothing to try that. So I've gotten involved in three different types of businesses, making money with each one of those things just by leveraging my name for the marketing aspects of it and getting equity ownership in return. Also right now we're getting involved with actually the promoting part of it. I did a lot inside the ring, still doing stuff inside the ring. But now I'm actually testing my skills outside the ring, and whereas I'm going into the promoting, where I'm doing a Valor.
I'm wearing the shirt for it right now.
That's right. There it is. Valor BK, bare knuckle fighting. We see an opportunity there. We, again, doing our homework, studying, being able to look at the different things trending outside in the social media areas. Got to see these street fights happening, and all of a sudden they're getting 1 million or so views with these guys fighting in the backyard.
Yeah.
So we started looking at it going, okay, well, that looks like that's interesting there. And then we started seeing these other bare knuckle organizations coming up, and their numbers were getting better than some of the MMA fights. So we realized at that time going, okay, well, now's the time to go back and do something I fell in love with back in the beginning when I started doing no holds barred fighting myself.
Right.
And then it kind of went away, and that was what I really loved the most, was that purity and that mano-a-mano, God-given talent when you step in the ring, bare knuckle, you against the other guy. And so I was just like, you know what? I want to bring that back. And so I started doing Valor Bare Knuckle September 21st at Four Bears Casino in Newtown, North Dakota. We're doing our very first event. And up to this point, we haven't even done a show yet, but with all the experience that I have learned through pro wrestling and my fighting, being able to understand how you move forward in that by creating opportunity for people to raise awareness for your event and ticket sales.
Yeah.
I use the knowledge that I have now to be able to go out there and make all those advertisements. Right now, we haven't done an event, and we're trending 1 right now in the bare knuckle space. We haven't even done a fight yet because of the knowledge and the ability that I have of knowing how all this stuff works and how you're supposed to get to that point to raise awareness that you're doing a show.
So you got to help me out here. Is this in a ring or is this in a cage?
Well, it's very unique. It's neither.
Okay.
So we are going to be doing it. It's going to be and I think we're going to wait until the day of the event so people can actually see it.
Okay.
But it's a pit. And it has no ropes in it, has no fences. So on that day, people will get to see what these guys are fighting in. It'll be an experience that you have never experienced before in watching a fight with no visual impediment.
Now, if you're part of this from the outside, kind of organizing this, once you get there on September 21st, aren't you going to go, I want to be in there?
Of course. I mean, the itch is always going to be there. But the reality of it is I also know where I'm at.
And you said Gracie's the only person you would fight?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
To make up for the low blow fight?
You're right. Yeah, I don't know how that one even happened.
It's funny because when you watch it back, the ref is in the way as it's happening, but you can clearly see on your face what's happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to fight it, but...
But your balls are in your stomach.
Yeah, when you start losing your breath and you're trying to cough them back down again. It's hard to keep continuing.
Do you think he would fight you one more time?
No, he won't. No,
because he knows you'd win.
Yes, that's why he need me. There's no question. There's no way that was an accident. He did that on purpose. It was his way out of that fight.
Wow. Well, yeah. Someone who's as a precision striker like he is, like you are. He knows where he's striking. Yeah,
he knew he was in trouble, and and every fighter will tell you the same thing because they understand when someone does something like that in a clinch, and they're that professional, they know something like that was done intentionally because the guy knows he's going to lose.
Who was your toughest opponent in MMA and in pro wrestling?
Well, MMA you can't. It's really difficult to say that because they all come from, like Gracie. I mean, he's just a different kind of guy. He's not strong. He's not dangerous, but he can beat you.
Sure.
Right? He's very good at that, but you don't fear him, right?
Yeah.
Guys like Mark Coleman or Dan Severn or guys that were big beasts in wrestling, I mean, they can hurt you, right? So guys like that, you kind of like they're just a little bit different thought. But you can't really put on which one is harder because they're all different.
What about Tito Ortiz?
Yeah, he's another one. Like, he comes in there and he's kind of a wrestler. He does elbows and, he's very, very aggressive on the ground.
Sure.
But it's like, for me, it was just a different style. I never thought in a fighter in that sense of being afraid of anyone, right? But it was more of a challenge of different styles of what I had to look for or watch out for.
What about in pro wrestling? Who was at your level? Because you had an insane amount of intensity.
Yeah. I would say not at my level as far as intensity, but I would have to say as far as charisma, athletic ability, the whole 9 yards, I would have to say between I know The Rock for sure, no question.
Sure.
And then, yeah, I would say The Rock. Yeah, like I said, I got to wrestle all the top stars, so they were all like kind of different too. But I think Rock was more of that guy that really matched well with me. We were able to do a lot of stuff together. Very athletic, very strong.
Yeah.
And I was athletic, very strong, charismatic. So it was a great match.
Would you say that the bigger reason you left WWE or WWF at the time to go back to MMA was it the dates? You were working 3, 4, 5 days a week versus 2, 3 fights a year. Was that the main reason? Or did you have unfinished business?
Yeah, I think that the reason why when I left the WWF was because it was just a lot of time on the road. And I just didn't feel like the time I was putting in to the WWF that we were going in the direction that I thought we were going to go. Yeah.
So, and with your character specifically.
Yeah, the things that they were asking me to do as opposed to what we were doing, the first year in. And I thought we were rising where we were supposed to be going. I thought I did what I needed to do. Everything was good. And then all of a sudden there was just a stop in the direction we were going. And then all of a sudden we were going in a direction I didn't understand. So on top of me being gone all the time, missing kids, dances and games and wrestling matches and birthdays. That gets depressing. But so to add to it, then all of a sudden I was not being pushed anymore, at least to my knowledge.
You've overcome so much in your life, like from, being bounced around different houses growing up to breaking your neck in high school. What's pushed you through this to make you not only get past it, but then be incredibly successful?
I think it's not dwelling on it. I mean, for me, after it happened, I remember my father said to me in the hospital as I was laying, he wasn't my father then, he was a group home owner. When I laid there and I was, in this bed where they clamped you together and they flipped me to go to the bath, they flipped me over to watch TV. They had a mirror under the bed where they flipped me over so I could watch TV when I was on my stomach. And I remember just when he said to me, he goes, because they told me I could never play contact sports again. And
you had a broken neck, you had a halo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I hadn't really sunk in until I was told that. And then I thought to myself, what did I do wrong? Because everything that drove me and everything that got me to that point was because I was good at something. I was relevant all of a sudden. I wasn't just punk kid that was in juvenile hall and I was going to be dead someday and no one really cared, to me being a good athlete. Teachers wanted to help me get good grades and coaches caring about me because I was good at something. And now I was relevant. And all of a sudden that was just being taken away in one instant. I literally took 3 years, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, to where all of a sudden my world felt good. And then I broke my neck. Then all of a sudden it was gone. It was it. And then I was being told that you can't do those things that made you relevant. And I was so depressed. I remember my father said to me, he goes, you can lay there and pout, or you can get up and do something about it. Wow. He said, because no one's going to do anything. Nobody can do. I can't do it for you. Mm-hmm. Your friends are not going to do it for you. You're the only one that can change the outcome of what's going to happen from this point on. And I remember thinking to myself, like, that's right. But I took it different than what he meant. I took it more like, this doctor can't tell me I can't do that. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know what I'm willing to do to get to where I want to go. He has no idea how hard I will work to get something, my dedication. So I remember getting up. I'm not getting up at that moment, but I remember after hearing that, and my thought process completely changed. It was like, okay, yeah, that's right. So I remember after I got out of the hospital, man, I started training and working out. A year and a half later, after being told that, I was playing linebacker at Shasta College.
Wow.
Playing football because I was able to train. I put on 20 pounds. I put muscle on around the injured area, and I was playing football. I mean, I had to get a release from the doctor. I had to get a release from the college saying that it would be no, this letter of nobody's responsible. I'm doing this on my own.
Yeah, because you could die.
Yeah, right. So, and I went and did it, man, and I was an All-American. So, so it just, to me, it was like my mind doesn't think about the things I can't do. My mind only thinks about the things I can do.
Are there things now at 55, you're getting back into the ring for the first time in many, many years. Do you look at this now and go, there's things I can't do now?
No. I look at things that I can do.
Okay.
And I do them.
Yeah.
Right. So if somebody says, hey, I want you to do a backflip off the top rope, I was like, what? I don't do that. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
Right? But, hey, if you want me to do a suicide dive over the top rope, I can do that.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I just did it over in BCW. So, I just did a match with Severn over in BCW. I did a 40-minute on Broadway. We had a good match, work-shoot match. And we went through that. After we were done, I wasn't tired. So I don't think, like I said, to me, there's nothing I can't accomplish if it's something that I enjoy doing.
So if this goes really well here in Impact, how much longer can you wrestle for?
That's the thing I don't think about. I think about now. I think about today. I think about what I'm going to do tonight.
Yeah.
So I focus on now, and I focus on things that I can control.
That rings true. I interviewed John Cena recently, and he said, "Control the controllable."
Yeah.
And that sounds like the same thing you're saying here.
Yeah.
Instead of looking ahead, can I still wrestle in a year or 5 or 10?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but what I do care about is now.
Yeah. That's something that I think everyone can take with them. If there's somebody watching this that is looking to break into pro wrestling, what kind of advice do you have for them?
I would say get an education, make sure you have a good job, and then practice your wrestling on the side. Because I say this in the fight world too, is that nothing's guaranteed. You could be the greatest athlete in the world, but injuries happen. You can be in there practicing and getting ready to start your career and blow your knee out and blow it out enough to where you're not the same. Or you could be really great at wrestling and you never get the opportunity. I mean, those things happen. So I always say, you know what, man, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I know it's a cliche, but it's so true. Make sure you have options.
I got to say, it's such an honor to be able to sit here with you and kind of just sit here at the learning tree and just, learn from you. And I'm so excited to see you back in the ring. And congrats on everything you're doing inside and outside of the wrestling world.
I appreciate that, man. And I'm excited for, obviously tonight. I'm going to get to be able to, because I think Moose has just been running all over the place. So I think tonight's the night.
And running his mouth a lot.
Oh, yeah. He seems to be really good at that. But we'll see what happens, Like I said, I'm excited for tonight. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he'll come in with some humbleness, but I doubt it. So I'll have to humble him, I think. But anyway, either way, whatever happens, it's going to be fun. Don't forget, Valor BK, September 21st, North Dakota, Newtown. It will be a show.
Ken Shamrock, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Woo! It's hot here in Vegas, and that's coming from me, who lives in Florida right now. Nevadans, how do you guys do this? That's what you're called, right? Someone who lives in Nevada is called a Nevadan? I think so. Thank you for checking out this chat with Ken Shamrock. He was one of my all-time favorites in the late 90s, so to be able to sit next to him for 30-plus minutes, to be able to just sit at that learning tree and hear those stories was incredible. That story about the chair shot from The Rock, oh man, it doesn't get any better than that. Also, the fact that he put me in the ankle lock at the start of the video, yeah, that might be one of the coolest intros we've done. I mean, the Billy Gunn one was cool, the RVD one was cool, the Young Bucks obviously a very cool one too, but to actually get put in the ankle lock from the master of the ankle lock himself, Ken Shamrock, pretty awesome. So thank you for checking out this chat. Thank you for helping me surpass 200,000 subscribers just last week. That means the world to me that you've been on this ride with me. And I'm here in Vegas right now. The Impact Wrestling show is here at, let's see, can we show it here? Well, yeah, there it is. Sam's Town Casino here in Las Vegas. So I've got a couple more interviews with Impact stars here. So I'm curious to hear who you guys would want me to interview, which Impact stars you'd want me to interview, because I've got a couple in mind. Actually, I'm about to walk in right now and do a couple of these interviews right now, but I want to hear who you think would be the best interview. Thank you. I'm going to link up to some other, let's get some better lighting here. Since we interviewed an Impact star here in Ken Shamrock, I'm going to link to some other Impact stars here. How about Ethan Page right there? That was a great one. And current Impact Wrestling World Champion Brian Cage right down here. How about that?